Hello there. I'm going to call this lesson Historical Money. Practical mathematics with a little bit of a historical review. Good luck. Let's talk money. Have you ever wondered about the different people that appear on American paper currency? Do you know who appears on the different currency denominations? Just remember, a currency denomination means the amount or the value of the money, like the dollar bills, the $5 bills, and so forth. And what facts do you know about each person? When you're ready, go ahead and hit your switch or click your mouse to move to the next slide. So first of all, the $1. It's George Washington that appears on the $1 bill. He was the first president of the United States from 1789 until 1797. A famous quote from George Washington: "Associate yourself with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for 'tis better to be alone than in bad company." Wonder what that means. Something to think about for another lesson. When you're ready to move on, go ahead and hit your switch or your mouse to move to the next slide. On the $2 bill, you have Thomas Jefferson. He was the third president of the United States from 1797 until 1801. An interesting fact about the $2 bill is that it's still in circulation, but it's quite rare because it's not been printed since 2003. A famous quote by Thomas Jefferson: "Honesty is the first chapter of the Book of Wisdom." I think that's a great quote. Anyway, when you're ready, please go ahead and click your switch or your mouse to move to the next slide. So it's Abraham Lincoln that appears on the $5 bill. He was the 16th president from 1861 until 1865. He was famous for signing the Emancipation Proclamation, which was an executive order that changed the legal status of anyone who had been a slave to being able to consider themselves as free. Very important man. A famous quote by Abraham Lincoln: "Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves." Go ahead and click your switch or your mouse when you're ready to move to the next slide. On the $10 bill, we have Alexander Hamilton. He was actually not ever a United States president, but he was the first Secretary of the Treasury under George Washington from 1789 until 1795. An interesting fact about Mr. Hamilton: he was actually killed with a duel against a longtime adversary. A famous quote from him: "Those who stand for nothing fall for everything." All right, you know the drill. Click your switch or click your mouse. Andrew Jackson appears on the $20 bill. Andrew Jackson was the 7th president of the United States from 1829 until 1837. He had a nickname as King Mob. That's something interesting that we should probably look up. But in the meantime, a famous quote: "Americans are not perfect people, but we are called to a perfect mission." Go ahead and click your switch or click the mouse to move to the next slide. All right, getting into the big money now. On the $50 bill is Ulysses S. Grant. He was the 18th president of the United States, and he served from 1869 until 1877. A famous quote from this gentleman: "I have never advocated war except as a means for peace." Go ahead and click your switch or click the mouse in order to move on to the next slide. All right, a $100 bill has the face of Benjamin Franklin. He was also a gentleman that was not a president of the United States, but he was very well renowned. Amongst most of his career, he was a scientist, a politician, and a diplomat, among other things. He negotiated the Treaty of Paris, which actually ended the Revolutionary War. A famous quote from Benjamin Franklin, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I will learn." I think a lot of us can understand that quote, right? It means if you're actually hands-on and involved, it helps you really learn. Anyway, go ahead and click your switch or the mouse and let's move on to the next piece of this lesson. Wow, lots of facts. All right, now it's time to review and solve some word problems. Are you ready? You can use your calculator in your device or ask your communication partner to enter the numbers into the calculator for you, just like we practiced in class. Please use your voice to tell your communication partner your answer. All right, number 1. We talked about 7 currency denominations, so 7 different bills. If you had one of each, how much money would you have? A, $7, B, $107, C, $188, D, $88. Question 2. Andrew Jackson was president from 1829 until 1837. How long was he president? A, 8 years, B, 4 years, C, 1 term, D, both B and C. All right, click your switch or mouse when you're ready to move on. All right, number 3. Alicia turned 16 years old, and her parents had been collecting the denomination of American money that hasn't been printed since 2003 as a birthday gift. They were collecting A, $5 bills, B, $1,000 bills, C, $2 bills. Number 4. They had collected 16 of this discontinued currency. If we want to figure out how much money they gave Alicia for her birthday gift, we need to A, add the denomination or the value of the money to 16, or multiply the denomination of the money by 16. Go ahead and click your switch or your mouse when you're ready. Number 5. You have 2 paper currencies, one with Alexander Hamilton and one with Abraham Lincoln. With these 2 paper currencies, these 2 bills, you can spend $11.50. Tell me, A, is that true? Or B, is that false? Number 6, a new iPad costs $345. You have 4 Ben Franklins in your wallet. You will have $65 left over after buying the new iPad. Is that A, true, or B, false? All right, click your switch or your mouse when you're ready. Question number 7. Of the 7 current denominations that we have talked about, 2 of them have the faces of people who were not actually presidents. Those 2 people were A, Washington and Jefferson, B, Lincoln and Hamilton, C, Hamilton and Franklin, D, Grant and Lincoln. Question number 8. In your wallet, you have the following. You have 5 $1 bills. You have 1 $10 bill. You have 2 $20 bills. If you need to calculate the total, you're going to A, multiply, then add, or B, multiply, then subtract. All right, go ahead and click your switch or your mouse when you're ready. All right, the last 2 questions. I'm going to try and make them a little bit easier for you. Ready? All right, question number 9. True or false? Abraham Lincoln was responsible for the Emancipation Proclamation. Again, is that true or false? Number 10. Another true or false question. Thomas Jefferson said, "Honesty is the first chapter of the Book of Wisdom." Was that true or false? All right, that's it. So lots of history learning and lots of mathematics to sort of challenge you to think about different mathematical operations, which is always good. Good luck. Hopefully you did well. That's it for this lesson, and we'll connect on the next one. If you've got any questions, let's try and look at these slides again another time and talk about some of the questions that you might have, because there's lots of information in here that we can explore and expand upon. Anyway, good luck. Thanks. Bye-bye.